Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and I'm so happy that you're here. And if you are new to my channel, please make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 600 subscribers before the end of the month, so I would so much appreciate it if you could help me achieve that goal. So in today's video, we are going to be designing and animating this cool scene. This is actually based on one of your requests, so if you do have a tutorial request for me, make sure you put that in the comment section. All right, now I'll see you guys after the video. So the very first thing we like to do is to create our composition. Make sure this is on the default setting. We can use 25 frames per second, which is fine. Make this 10 seconds long. And I'll name this final scene and click OK. So we have our final scene composition here. So we're going to go ahead and create another composition. Click on this icon here. So for the width, I'm going to make it 200. And for the height, I'll make this 2000. And I'm just going to name this plane. And the rest is okay. I'll click OK as well. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to name this lower plane. And I'm just going to change this to 1920. Then the height is going to be 328. And every other thing is fine. I'll click OK. So what I would like to do now is to go to the plane. And I'm going to create some layers here. So I'm going to right click, go to new, then create solid. I'll make this red and I'll click OK. I'll name this plane and I'll click OK. I would like to add an effect to this. So I'll click this, use my FX Copilot plugin and type fill. Click this. And I'm just going to change the color to the appropriate red that I used to set this. So I'll come here and then I'll paste and click OK. So the next thing I would like to do is to create a line across this. So I'll click on my pen tool and then I'll make sure that I have no fill. And I'll click on the stroke. I'll make it solid color and I'll make this white. Click OK. Make sure this is about 2 pixels. Click out. Maybe I'll just zoom out and I'll just click this. And hold down shift. Let me zoom in. Hold down shift and click this to make sure it's on a straight line. Click on my move tool, select this. Let me fit the screen. Then I'll click on the align. Then I'll make sure it's aligned to the center like this. And I would rename this to line. What I would like to do is to open this up, go to the content, go to shape and go to stroke. Another shortcut for doing all of this, if you don't start opening all of these buttons here or these functions, you can just come here and then type what it is that you're looking for. So I'm actually looking for dashes, so I'll just come here and type dashes and I'll see dashes right here. It's under stroke and I'll open it up. I can see that nothing is opening, so all I need to do is just click on plus and then I need to see what I'm doing here. So let me click out. So I have these dashes. So I want to increase the gap between these lines. So all I need to do is to click on plus again, right click out so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'll just go to the gap and then increase it some more. So what I'll do, I'll just change this value to 27. Then one other thing I would like to do is to apply a simple expression. So to just keep going and I'm going to use the offset for it. So I'm just going to alt click this, but before I alt click, let me show you what it's doing. So if I click and drag, so let me click out and do shift control H. Shift control H is going to hide all the outlines. Even though I'm selecting it, it's not going to show. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So if I click and drag the offset, can you see it's just dragging it? It's just making it, it's offsetting the line basically. So what I'll do is alt click this and then I'll do time 100. So if I click out, I have something like this, which is exactly what I want. So I'm just going to close this, open this up, and I think I'm done with the plane. Now I'll go to my lower plane, go back to my project, then bring the plane and drop here. I have it across like this. So what I need to do now is to make it 3D, and then I'm just going to rotate this in a way. So I'll press R for rotation. Then I'm going to go to the X-axis and I'm just going to rotate it like this. Let me do the other way around. Let me do my, so I can see the lines here. So if I zoom in, you can see the lines here. So I'll make sure that this is minus 82. Then I'll click this. Then I can go to view and go to switch to 2 views. This is the top view. So if I zoom in, this is the top view. This is the front view or active camera view. So what I want to do is to just move this back a little, and then I can just move this to the side. something like this, right? Maybe I should move it forward to a little, so I can have something like this. So all I need to do is to duplicate this and then keep arranging. So I'm just going to do this, duplicate, then arrange this to the side, and then maybe I'll bring this one, just drop it backward a little bit, then I can drag it up. So I just want to offset the position a little bit. So let me just drag this here. This one should be up, just a little bit up, and then I can duplicate these two, duplicate, drag both of them up, then take them to the side like this. Can take this and drop down a little bit, then maybe this should be up tiny bit. I'm just offsetting it, so I want them to really look dynamic. So I'll take this and duplicate and just offset to the side, then drag this down, then maybe this should come forward a little bit, then maybe should go up tiny bit as well, and this should go down. I'm just offsetting it basically. So this is what I'll keep doing. So I might just have to fast forward all of this in order to waste so much time. You guys get the whole idea. So I think with this, I'm pretty satisfied with this. If I need to still tweak one or two things, I'll come back and tweak. But before I go, I need to apply an effect to this. So I'll select one of it, and I'm going to look for my effects console here, and I'll type in Venetian blinds, and I have something like this. So let me just zoom in and let me solo this. So I'm just going to make this 25%. You can see what we have here, and then I'll change the width to about 8. So I have something cool like this. So if I play this now, the line is actually going over and we have this cool result. So let me just fit to screen. I have something like this. All I need to do is just highlight this, Ctrl C, and then paste it on the rest, Ctrl V. So if I uncheck this, all of them will have that same effect. So one thing I can do is I can take this and just adjust it a little so it don't overlap too much. Take this, let this overlap just a little. I'm actually done with this. So all I need to do now is to go to my final comp. And then I'll start creating the scene. The first thing I like to do is to create a background. So I'll right click, go to new, create solid, and I can just make this blue. And I'll name this BG, which is background. So I'm just going to fit to screen. I have something like this. I just normally change this color so that I can easily recognize my layers. It's actually not big deal if you change the color there, because I'm actually going to add effect to this. So I'm going to click this, then I'm going to add a gradient to this, gradient ramp. I'll click OK, and I have this. So I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to come here and change the color to what I've prepared for this tutorial, right? Dark blue, and the other one is just a well saturated blue. Then I'm going to change the ramp shape to radial. So I have this circular thing going on here. I'm going to swap the colors, and all I need to do now is just zoom out a little bit, then drag this handle down here, let's say here, and I'm just going to drag this down a little bit. So I have something like this. I'll increase the ramp scatter like this a lot so that it will blend in well. So I'll fit the screen and we have something like this. That's the background. So the next thing I like to do is to bring in my blades. So let me first of all take this and then just pin somewhere here. I have to be going back and forth with this. So let me just bring my lower plane and drop here. And with this, see what I have. I need to make this 3D, and I need to check continuous rasterize so that to show the full thing going on here. I'll click this, then I'll drag this down because it's the lower plane. So what I like to do now is to just rotate this a little bit. So I'm going to press R, click this and press R for rotation. Then I'm just going to rotate this a little bit. Let's do -8. And we have the plane like this. And I'm just still going to drag it down. I would like to switch to two views, and then I'll just drag it forward like this, just a little bit. I think I'll work with this for now. I'll switch my layout back to one view so I can draw your mask. So I'll just do this. I'll bring it forward and then I'll just go to the max feather. So I'll press F so I can have access to max feather and just drag this so it looks as if it's fading in. Right, so I think something like this is cool. Let me fit the screen. Yeah, so I'd like to go to the lower plane. I think I'd like to adjust this to be forward, to move forward some more. So I'll click on this, go to my move to select this, then I'll zoom in, then make sure I have the wide and just move it forward. Then go back. Yeah, I think I can work with this. I'm going to select this and I'm just going to duplicate this. Then I'll right click, go to reveal in source project. Then I'm just going to duplicate this here. Then rename this to upper plane. And I'm just going to replace this with the upper plane. So I'm going to hold down Alt and then replace. So now that I've duplicated this, all I need to do is I would like to invert this first. I'll press S and check this, then do minus so it to invert, and then I'll click this. Let me check, make sure that this is chain again. I'll click this and I'll just drag this up. As you can see, it's facing up, so I need to work on the rotation as well. So I'll do this, press R, and I'll do, instead of -8, I'll just do 8 so that it can corrected. Maybe drag it down a little bit. I think this is good. Then I'll fit the screen. So I'll just close this up, close this up. So the next thing I like to do is to create a little bit of some background thing here. So let me just go ahead and do it. New, create solid. I'll make this black. That's important. And I'll just make this dark fade BG and I'll click OK. I think this time around, I like to just reduce the scale like this. Just drag it down and maybe up some more. Then I'll take my rectangle and I'll just mask it like this, maybe smaller like this. Let me adjust this some more, just drag it up. And what I'll do is to go to my feather and then just fade this a lot. So maybe I need to take this and just make it smaller, make this smaller like this. So let me fit the screen. So I have something like this here. Then I'll click this, reduce the opacity to about 60%. So it's just there. So look at without width. So it's just to create that fade effect. So the next thing I like to do is to create my text, but I'm going to create a new composition for this. I'll make this the default, make it 10 seconds long, and I'm just going to name this text. And I'm going to click OK, and I'm just going to go to my text tool and come here and type something like "Are you ready?" Let me click on my move to make sure my caps is off, and then I can move this, change the text color to white, make sure this is aligned to the center, change the font. I'm going to be using Gothic. Yeah, I think so. I think this is the font. So I'm just going to reduce this a lot. I'm going to change the width to bold. I'm going to make this all caps. Make sure the paragraph is at the center, right? And then I'm also going to align this back again to the center. Okay, I think I'm pretty good with this. Let me make this 102. Take this, align well to the center. So I'm going to add a text animation to this. So I'll go to open this up, then go to my animate, then add opacity. And I'm just going to open this up. First, I'll change my opacity to 0 and animate my offset from 0 here to 100. So with this is what I have. I'll open up my advanced and I'll go to randomize to be on. So with this, it will randomly appear. And then what I would like to do is to animate the random seed. So I'll just come here to the random seed and I'll click this and I'll do time 100. With this is a cool result we are going to get, which is pretty cool. Okay, we are done with that, and I can just go back to my final scene, then bring in my text and drop. And if I move this forward, this is what I have. But what I like to do now is to apply some kind of depth to this text. So I'm going to go to I'm going to right click on this, then go to layer styles. I'll use bevel and emboss. With this, we have some depth already, but I'm just going to tweak it a little bit. Open this up. So I increase the size to 7. Then the depth reduced to 80. Something just, I'll make this 1. Then I'll go to style. I like to change the style to pillow emboss there, and I'll go from the technique. I'll change the technique to chisel soft. I think I'll settle with this. So all I need to do is just fit to screen. I can see this from far. I can see how it's looking. And if I go back and then play this, this is what I have. Right now, this part, I would like to import some assets. So I'll just double click this, then go to my assets part. And then I would like to bring in this too. Okay, import. Don't forget, I will have the project files available in the link in the description, so you can have access to all of this. So the next thing I'd like to do is to create a camera and then do some sort of animation. But before then, I think I would like to do something with this text one more time. So I'll click on this text, then duplicate. And this time around, I'm just going to offset it a little bit. And this time around, on this other one, what I would do, I'll come here, add fast box block, click on it. I have this. Now I'm going to increase this a lot to about 1, 2, 3. But now the interesting thing about this is, let me solo this first so you can see what I'm doing. You can see that we cannot even see anything here. But what I would now do is to change this from horizontal and vertical to horizontal. And by the time we do that, I have something like this. So let me uncheck this now. You can see the kind of effect that we have here. So what I'll do is I'll click this and I'll reduce the opacity to about, let's say 18%. You can see it's very subtle thing going on here. You can see so now it's making it look more glamorous. You can see that even after we have that effect coming in too. So I'll close this up. And then what I would like to do next is to make sure that they are both 3D, right? So before I bring in my assets, I would like to create a camera. So I'll make sure this is at, let me do 35, let's do 35 mm, and I'll click OK. And of course, I'll right click here, go to camera and create orbit null. So it will automatically create a null for the camera. So what I'll do now, I'll go to 2-second mark. And I'll set this, I'll press P for position, set this at this point. Then I'll drag this back and then I'll just zoom in. But I like this to easy ease. Then go to my graph editor. I can do something like this. So if I check this and then if I go back now and then I play this, I have something like this. Now that I'm looking at this, I would like to activate 3D for my dark shade so that it will go accordingly to as well. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. So all I need to do is just add in those assets that I just imported. So I'll just bring this in above my text. And this is what I have. It's a flare. All I need to do is simple. I'll make sure it's 3D first. I'll change the blend mode to add. And now that I'm seeing this, I'd like to change this text to add as well. So I'm going to click this and I'm just going to mask it because it's very bright. So I'm going to do something like this. Let me select the circle, the ellipse rather, and I'm just going to do something like this to just make sure I capture what I really want. So I think this is what I really want. So let me do this. I like all those details, and I'll just do F to feather it out a lot. But then I'll still have my flare. So let me make sure I fit the screen. I still have my flare. So what I would like to do now is to reposition this. So I want to reposition in the way that I want it to be. So let me move the time forward. I think I'll just move it and adjust it like this. Maybe something like this. I was just checking the opacity. I might need to reduce the opacity later, but not now. So what I would like to do to the opacity is to apply a simple expression, or hold on Alt and click, and I'll type in wiggle, then brackets. I'll do 1000, so it will wiggle. So if I just scrolling over this is what we have. So let me just solo this so that you see what's going on here. So if I play this, so you have that blink. One other thing I like to do is to animate it from right to left. So I'll do this. So maybe at this point, it could be here. I'll set this here and then I'll go back and I would like to set this to be on the right side. So let me scroll over there and see how this looks like. So let me fit the screen. So I really need to, let me zoom out. I really need to make it go sideways, go out of the screen. All right, so I think that is cool. So let me play this now, fit the screen. Let me see what we're gonna have. So we have that coming in there. So maybe I'll just move it further down, right? Maybe somewhere here. And I want the position to be down right below. So somewhere like this, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. But then I'm going to animate the opacity. So maybe from here, I'll press T, right? I'll set this. Then at this point, I'll make it 0. Okay, so from the beginning, there'll not be light until it started coming in, and then we have this lighting going on here. Looking at this, I think the feathering is not allowing it to shine so much. So let me just reduce the feathering. Okay, maybe something like this would do. All right, maybe towards the end, I can take this, press T again for opacity, and then maybe just reduce. Let me use 6-second mark. I'll just reduce it to about, let's say, 50%. So it will not be so strong towards the end. Then what I would like to do is to bring in some of the asset that I've brought in here. So I'll bring this one in first, drop it here. And if I solo this, this is what I have. Just simple numbers, animation. So let me uncheck this. So what I would like to do is to arrange them in Z position. So I'll press P and make sure this is on 3D. I need to make sure it's on 3D. And then I'll just bring this forward. So I'll just make this come forward. So I'll do -511. It will be very close to the screen, very, very close. But then I will now scale it down. Select this, press S to scale it down. Yeah, to something like this. And I'll reduce the opacity to about 30%. So that it will not be taking the attention away from the main text. Then I'll also bring in one other one. Drop here. So if I solo this, this is what we have. Let me zoom out. Let me see. This is quite large, so let me fit the screen. So the shortcut for fitting to screen is Ctrl Alt F. So it definitely fit that to screen. So there's actually quite subtle animation going on here. Can you see around this point? Quite subtle animation going on here. It's just random shapes animated. So I'm going to use this tool as well. But for this one, I'm going to move it back to about, let me make it 3D first. Then I'm going to move it back in Z space. So about, let's say 500. So it's somewhere behind all of this. So let me fit the screen. And then if I take this back and then play what I have presently, let me see. So we have this cool thing going on here, and I think we're almost done with this. I can see that this flicker is actually very, very strong. So let me take it back again and play. Okay, I can see that this is actually very strong. And I can also see some black dots. I think it's from this combination element. So what I'll do, if you have some black thing there, I'll just add fill to this and I'll make it white. I can make it red. That red makes it look more interesting, but I'll just make it white and then reduce the opacity to about, let's say, 20%. Let me just play this again. Like I said, I would like to work on this flare a little bit. Maybe I'll just reduce the scale. So I'll uncheck this and reduce the scale in Y-axis so it looks smaller. And I think with this, we are done with the animation. One last thing, let's add an adjustment layer to this. New adjustment layer, and I'm going to name it CC, which is color correction. And I'm going to add, let me put this somewhere here. I'm going to add curves to this. And I'm just going to make sure all of this blend. I can make it darker, just increase the contrast a little bit. And with this, all the colors will blend together, right? And with this, we are done with our animation. And maybe you can decide to just add subtle movements to the camera as well. Maybe I'll go straight to the camera, go to open camera options, then zoom. So I can come here, set this here, and then take this back to maybe to about 9 seconds or thereabout, and then drag it backward, reduce the value so I can start zooming out basically. so I can have something really dynamic, so don't have a non-stop movement going on there. I think that's it pretty much. I'll just increase the scale on the side here so it won't look weird. And with this, I think we are good. So just a little minor tweak there and there, and we are good. So yeah, this is the final animation. And if you want to learn more on how I get to achieve the glitch, I've actually done a tutorial on this. So let me quickly show you. So if you want to know how I get to achieve those glitch, it's something that I've done before. It's actually one of the first tutorials that I did on how to achieve glitch like this. So make sure you check it out. You can see the link up there. Make sure you check it out. All right, guys, I really hope you do enjoy that. I'm pretty sure you've learned one or two things from this tutorial. If you have, please let me know in the comment section. And please don't forget to like. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to hit 600 subscribers before the end of the month. I would so much appreciate it if you could, if you could make that dream come true for me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.